spinny thing.
Spinning.
We're live.
We're live.
What's happened? Why does it look so dark? Oh, there
it is.
Okay.
We're here.
Yeah. Well, thank you for standing in for me.
Yeah.
I was a little late. I was taking doing very impressive things with very important people. So Dr. Art took care of the thumbnail while it was gone.
Yeah.
All right. So who do we got in the house here?
We got a
Mexican
lot.
Spec. Yes. What's happening, man? Thunderstruck 666. What's happening? Bobblehead Rocco. What you doing, man? Thumper. What's happening, bro? No, it's exactly what I expect. Sometimes the likeness is incredible, isn't it? 20 Cent Motors, I read 1984, right about 49 years ago. I've been waiting right for the preppers. But you're ahead of the curve, right? Why is it weird like this? I feel like, yeah. Oh no, still there's something off.
I don't know. The camera.
There's a disturbance in the force.
You got to roll with it.
All right, Fubar. What's happening, Fubar?
Territory that's able. He was on my show on Monday night, showing me the glow of the fires.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's lots of things. People talking about some crazy stuff there. Yeah. I don't doubt it. Joe K, what's happening? Tim Page, welcome, Tim. For Mamba. I'll tell you. Have you read 1 Second After by? No, I have not. It rings a bell, but I've never heard of it. What? Give me real quick. Give me the synopsis of it. Synopsis? No.
Yeah. The syllabus.
So yeah, okay.
Synopsis.
Same thing.
Tell me what it's about, real quick.
Yeah.
2 sentences. Yeah.
Tom Manley, sup?
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Z, hello from the frozen North Country. It's above zero. It's cold out here, man.
Yeah. Next 2 days are gonna be cold and snow on the weekend.
Temperature, weather, nothing matters. Zero is here.
We're good.
We're good.
Everything's good with the world.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like I don't know. I feel displaced somehow. It's weird.
You feel paper towel-y or?
I can't put my finger on it.
All right.
Territory, lots of destruction. We'd be driving. So Territory, is it a natural disaster or is it planned? Don't be too specific because we don't need the YouTube. Rocco God 1, Hollywood 0.
Yeah.
Hollywood didn't really get hit very hard.
The wind's changing this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're going. It'll jump to 405 this weekend. Was this something here?
Okay. What'd you stop it at?
Right here.
Oh, Z732. Yo, could use some advice building an engine. 360 LA block, 318 LA heads, hand ported. What cam? I'm trying to build a highway fuel economy, thinking a 364 barrel cam. Yeah, there's a 364 barrel and a 340 cam are the same. Perfect cam for what you're looking to do. Yeah,
it'll run beautiful. And act like it. Like
you get a lot of velocity through those little 318 heads.
Yeah,
it'll run great. Mexican Spec is saying Hollywood people got hit. Yeah, it didn't look that crazy but I don't know. I'm not there. And Fubar just put up something to my merch. Yes, right there. Our shirts, right? Which shirt am I wearing tonight?
Internal busting because I pee standing up.
Yes, we have lots of these shirts still. We got to get rid of. So, Uncle Tony's Garage at gmail.com. Oh no, Uncle Tony's Garage.
Yes.
Right? .com. That's it. Yeah, not at Gmail. All right. 7Z32 small port aluminum intake carb. I mean the simplest. You get a Performer 318. Don't do the Performer 340, 360. Do the Performer 318. And Edelbrock 600 is really the most simplest, straightforward thing you could do. Territory, Tony, is it true you're buying dirt land and becoming a real estate mogul? I'm waiting. I just had this conversation with Kathy Bananas.
As soon as the silver goes through the roof. It's by the dirt.
Yeah, well, I'm not even worried about silver going through the roof. It's just the dirt is going to plummet.
Yeah.
We're talking about. I believe it's supposed to be a tech show. I don't want to get into all this. I believe that we're going to see the greatest real estate collapse in beyond the history of
all of time.
Yeah, exactly. Rocco, thank you for the super chat.
Oh, that's what.
Wasteland mechanic.
Do we get a pen because we got paper? We should be writing all this
We
stuff
got a
down. I don't know. You got a pen around this place?
No, I usually just scratch like into things. I don't have a pen.
Okay. All right. Well, there you
go. Jeff Hutchins, UTG, I think a mechanical diesel is the Armageddon machine. Every vehicle I drive by is a fuel station, diluted gas, gear oil. Yeah, well, I mean, you can't run gasoline in it. You know what I mean? You can if you want the engine to last like a mile, right? No. See, okay, it depends where you are. If you happen to be in an area where there's lots of diesel trucks, where there's lots of that type of fuel available, well, I mean, yeah, okay. But like, for instance, here, no, right? Somebody else was talking about like heating oil. Oh, you can run it off of heating oil. I'm in Middle Tennessee.
We don't have
There's no such thing as heating oil.
You'd have to go to the farmers and raid their bins, and they're going to shoot you.
Right.
So,
and that's why in that video I was trying to explain it. Different regions have different situations and circumstances. If you live in an area where everybody's got heating oil, say you're in Pennsylvania, okay, and it's the heating oil capital of the world, right? Yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out. Diesel's the best thing to have. Here in Middle Tennessee, no. All of the diesel in my region, okay, would be wiped out in a day. All right, if you took all of the trucks, you emptied out all of the freaking trucks, the tanks, a day, 2 days, 3 days, it's all gone.
Yeah, we're right on 40 and 24. With all the traffic, sucked dry in a couple of days.
Yeah. Gasoline for years. Let's see. Fun with cars. Tony, loved the Be Prepared video the other day. My only critique is that old ethanol-based gasoline does not store well or for long. Wood gasification. You are absolutely wrong. Back in September, I think it was, I had to move my Roadrunner, my 73 Roadrunner. Okay, and this thing hadn't been started in 3 years. It sat for 3 years. It had the old gas in it. What was left of the old gas, because I parked it with a full tank, and 3/4 of it have evaporated. Okay, it started, it ran, it functioned just fine. I actually drove it around the block with no brakes, but I drove it around the block just to circulate fluids and liquids and everything else. No, that fuel, and that's an open vented gas tank. That's not even a sealed tank. No, today's modern gasoline in a sealed container will definitely, no question in my mind, last 2 or 3 years.
It may not smell good, but it'll burn.
It doesn't even smell that bad because it doesn't get the varnish.
Yeah, that's true. The old stuff.
The old stuff varnish. This stuff doesn't varnish. When it dries, when it evaporates, it leaves behind like a
little powder. Yeah,
right, crusty powder. It's actually today's. You see people.
It's crack.
Yeah, I snorted. The people always talk about how bad today's gasoline is, and it's not. I've proven it time and time again. In the old days, you took apart a carburetor that sat for 3 or 4 years with the old gas. This thing was done. Okay. Today, it's just a dry powder. The gasoline evaporates. It leaves a dry powder, a brownish powder behind. You clean it out real quick, and you're good to go. Jeff Hutchins is saying you can run diluted gas on a mechanical diesel, especially with gear oil. All military vehicles are also diesel. Commerce also runs on diesel. Yes. No. Well, diesel might be back first, but the distribution for it won't be there. And what do you do in the meantime? And if you you can dilute the gasoline, but how do you know the mixture? Average person, right? How do you know the actual ratio? It's not like mixing a two-stroke. The mix master thing, and here's a couple of drops of oil, and here's the gas. How do you know? It's just no. But you do you. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
God, you do you, Jeff. Let's see.
Question: can you please bring home dog treats?
It's Kathy Bananas. She wants her dog treats.
Take some aluminum, put it on the puppy's feet.
Wheelie King is saying you have a very different experience with ethanol fuel than I. I let my junk sit for more than 60 days. The carb has to come apart, period. Maybe formulated differently. Possibly, bro.
Could be. Depends on part of the country. And like in Colorado, they have weird gas. It's less octane. It's got all kinds of weird chemicals in it.
What's your experience with it? With ethanol gas here?
With ethanol, it's the only thing you have to worry about. If it sits and stuff, it's just like you said, it turns into like little white crumbs on the bottom of.
Right.
You got to blow this stuff out and clean it out. And it gets into little passages, but you clean it out, that's fine.
Let's see. Fun with cars. Ethanol absorbs water. It turns cloudy and corrodes aluminum. Yeah, non-anodized aluminum. All of the carburetors, all of the production carburetors, the quality carburetors are like hard anodized. The Chinese ones aren't, and that's a problem.
You did a video on that.
Okay, the Chinese carb in Scribbles. I went to start it the other day. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
won't idle.
It's
So I pop the top of the carburetor off.
it's all.
The piston
Mhm.
is stuck at the bottom. It corroded and and it's stuck at the bottom.
Yeah.
Let's see. See, there's so much conversation about this.
Mhm.
Saving Chevys, the average person can't distill alcohol either. They'll learn. It'll be
Yeah.
a community thing. Somebody will.
It's easy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ethanol pulls water out, but like you said, most modern stuff, the tanks are sealed, and
Yeah.
it's not just vented to the atmosphere like the old stuff in the carburetors. So
Okay. Oh, geez. See, that's what happens. I start reading comments and I get lost in the comments, like as if I'm watching this
right.
instead of being an active participant. Thunderstruck is saying I had a pair of McCuneys nearly rotten through from corrosion after just one summer. Oh, geez, I can't imagine that. I go through stuff all the time, and I'm not finding the kind of damage that I used to find with the old gas.
Yeah, I mean, you like the tow truck sits for months, and you go out there and pump
6
it.
months in a click, yeah, and clip and sits there,
Yeah.
fires right up, no problem. Fun with cars. Anodized aluminum. Did you know Jim Post from Wisconsin had a front engine nostalgia fuel dragster and owned an anodizing company? No, but we were just before we went on here, Dr. Art and I were talking about my friends up in Wisconsin. There's Brett Welker, the Time Machine top fueler. Nitro Neil Bisaglia was a buddy of mine. We were just talking about him. The Chicago Fire car. There was so many cool people up there, but Post rings a bell, but I may know him, may not know him. We may not have. I was up there like in the middle to late 90s, regularly. Like Union Grove was like my almost my home track for a while.
Mark Sauvé, my 78 Camaro drag car has been sitting outside for about 4 years. Any suggestions to do what before he starts it up in the spring?
Pull the plugs out, squirt a WD or PB blaster or something in each cylinder, spin it over a few times just to make sure that everything's groovy, and then fire it up.
Yeah.
See, everybody wants the Apocalypse XJ. The real 50-inch DOP, why don't they make a plastic carburetor? They did. It's called the Thermoquad.
And as soon as it gets hot, it does this.
Yeah, it has a lot of
heat issues.
Right. Let's see. Thumper has all of his Doomsday vehicles ready. All of my vehicles are Doomsday vehicles. I'm ready. Here's the thing, right? I said in the video, I don't want to survive. I have no intention of surviving.
No, because the shit gets that bad.
No. I plan on thriving.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like survival. No, losers survive. You know what I'm saying? Losers survive. I plan on going to the top of the food chain.
You had the apocalypse throne.
I plan on drag racing and having fun and doing. I'm ready. You know what I mean? I'm ready. Shoehorn Jackson, have you guys ever seen a Kellison Panther on the drag strip? The guy, the Hot Rod Hoarder, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Yeah, he has one of those bodies.
Tommy.
Rocco was saying for the XJ, 1996 is 1 year only PCM. Older models have the Renix. Then 1996 is interchangeable with the later ones, correct?
Yes.
So,
you could take, okay, yes, 96 is 1 year, but you could take a 97, 98 only and put it into the 96.
Okay.
And just so you get those 3 years, but you can't take a 96 and put it into 97 or 98.
Okay. And in 2000 and 2001.
No, 99 and up.
99 and up, because 99 still has a distributor. So it'd be 2000 and up that has the
coil. Yeah, but there's,
But are you saying 99 is?
99 is a different animal too.
Really? Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, every other comments that they want to see the XJ Doomsday vehicle.
Yeah, I know. A lot of interest in that.
That's fun. We could see how it takes bullets and everything.
Thumper is saying, I'll be driving hot rods while everybody else is walking. Then I'll show them how to turn weeds and stuff into fuel. There you go. There's the attitude.
Here's a good question. Why do you figure Chrysler didn't build a El Camino Ranchero type vehicle?
I do not know. I don't know. They had the Rampage, but that was
later.
Silly.
Later. That was a silly little car later. Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't. They should have.
Mm-hmm. No, see, they want an XJ with a train set on top. No, here's what you do: is you take your XJ and give it enough power to do a burnout on the trailer, and while you have another guy on top of the XJ on a mini bike doing a burnout.
What's the
just because.
I'm down with that. Jeff Hutchins saying Renix was up through 95. 95 was last year for Renix. Which is one of the reasons I stick with 96 and newer, because I just want to keep everything kind of uniform. 72 Z20, 2000 XJ. Yeah, I know. I have a 2000.
Yeah, it's not much different. Yeah.
But the computer is going to be completely different because it's got a trip, the coil pack set up. Brennan Hart wants to know, what are the first muscle cars you ever had?
Muscle cars. Probably the first. Probably the. I don't know. I had some, mid '60s El Caminos with big locks and stuff like that. They were cars, but El Caminos, and then the '69 and '70 fastback Mustangs, and they were really Mustangs, but those are more pony cars. So it's all that kind of stuff. But my first car was a Galaxy, so that was not a muscle car, but it was convertible and it was cool.
Mine was a '69 Charger that I bought. It was a stolen recovery. I paid $20 for it. I was 16, and I built a 446 pack for it. With an intake manifold that I grabbed off of a car. Did I tell you the story
in
about
the parking lot.
No, it was an accident that happened in front of this bar called the King's Row
Oh yeah,
on
that's right.
Staten
Yeah,
Island.
yeah,
Guy, I'm not going to tell the story. I was an insane, completely insane 16-year-old kid, and there was a so
There's an
don't
opportunity for a six-pack.
yeah, don't judge me on this, okay? But there was a fatal accident with a 70 Roadrunner. I'll never forget the car. It was a beautiful car, but it was wrapped around a telephone pole, and 3 kids got killed inside of it, and they left the wreck around the. It was just happened in the middle of the night, so they left it sit, and I robbed the intake manifold off of it. So that was. There's a picture at my house next to the TV of me when I was 16 years old, bolting that intake manifold, that whole setup onto my 440 that I put in the Charger. But don't judge me. I was 16 years old.
Fun with cars. Anyone else noticed that the Mopar muscle cars have peaked a bit in price? Seeing some cheaper ones coming down. There's going to be, give it 6 months. There's going to be deals on everything.
People are unloading stuff. But it's a temporary thing. It's a temporary thing. The desire for certain cars, certain types of cars, will always be there, regardless of whether people are not going to can afford them or not. So the desire will be there, and people with means will absorb those cars. But in the meantime, you've got an economic collapse. All right, inflation is taking everybody out, and people are getting rid of stuff that they can't. Yeah, they just got to keep the lights on. Got to keep the family paid. So project cars are going, and they're going for dirt cheap. So long term, yeah, there's still a solid investment in the future. But for right now, no, it's like catching a falling knife. Howard Cabby, do you expect to see older motors swapped into vehicles? Yes, as they get older. Either vehicles that are now getting carb 350s on yes, and yes, absolutely. I think that. So you want a good investment going into the future? Start gathering up 60s and 70s small block Chevys, right? Or even into the 80s. Any small block Chevy, right? Even a Vortec motor. But there's going to be an explosive market in the future for small block Chevys.
You swap into all the old Volvos and Jaguars and everything that doesn't run, and
swap it into everything. It's a motor that's been swapped into everything. There are kits and to swap it into everything. It's a fabricator's dream. I mean, other engines are viable too. It's not that the small block Chevy is a better engine than, let's say, a small block AMC or a small block Chrysler, but it's just so universally known, and there's just so much aftermarket and for generations that it's the default engine, just like the street run guys always.
Yeah,
right? You go to the street
and a
run,
3240 got a small block Chevy. It's
right,
like, oh, you fuck.
It's the default engine. It'll always be the default engine
because they make everything to swap that into anything.
Yep. Thumper saying GM built billions of the orange lumps. You can find them anywhere. Yep. Okay. Coffee complete.
Here's a question, Dodge Ram 01. Why do you use the term Mopar, which is basically the parts division of Chrysler, but you don't hear terms like Delco or Motorcraft when referring to old GM and Ford cars?
Mopar is short for My Old Pig Ain't Running, and it's something that we all have in common. We all say it, you know what I mean? It's like every couple of days, it's like my old pig ain't running, and so we adopted the term Mopar just to shorten it up.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I drive Motorcraft. No, it's a serious answer to that question. I don't know. It's just always been. You know what I mean? It's just always been Mopar. And that goes back to like the early 60s where people were calling, what was a movie? What was that fucking movie? It kicked off the whole nostalgia thing back in the 70s. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I've seen it 1,000. I haven't seen it 1,000 times. I've seen it mentioned. I've seen it a couple of times.
What, like American Graffiti?
American Graffiti. American
Okay.
Graffiti. Yes. And in that video, and this is supposed to be like 1962, they used the term Mopar. Somebody says, okay, I need you to build headers for my Mopar, if that's the line. And I guess I've only seen the movie a couple of times, and it was a long time ago, but that part did stick out to me. It's like, yeah, Mopar goes, calling generic Chrysler products Mopars goes back beyond that. 20-cent Motors Moparts were more interchangeable. GM parts, that's okay. I like that.
What's that pipe tobacco?
Yes, the pipe tobacco.
It's got the cherry ember burning smell to it.
Yeah, well, I think I left my regular tobacco home, and I'm having a crisis now. It's like I gotta smoke something. Thumper is saying he wanted Miller to weld the front end of his Mopar. Yeah, I knew it was something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mike Brunello, he put a 302 Ford in a 71 Dodge step side, and it fit perfectly.
Well, 302s, yeah, the little Windsor is another one. You could swap that into places a small block Chevy won't fit. They just don't have that universal appeal that the small block Chevy does. Okay. Kathy Bananas is reminding me on the phone now. Okay. Let's see.
Dodge Ram 01, 3.9 Magnum HP upgrades, if any. Exhaust in a tune. That's all you can do.
Yeah. Anybody else getting cabin fever? Yes.
Yes, bad. We're just talking about seasonal disorder.
My life sucks, okay? I'm being honest with you.
You've been off motorcycles for a month now.
Yeah. You take me away from my motorcycles. I used to ride year round. I don't have it in me anymore. It's just, I just don't have it in me anymore. Yeah, and I like to be out in the sun. I don't like to work indoors. I like to work outside. It's like the sun. Everything's great, and
Yeah, I know.
Oh God, I hate being confined. Effectual insurrection. It's like 71 degrees down in South Florida. Yeah, well, Florida is awesome for a couple of months out of the year. Now, but then the humidity is ridiculous. Fish, you can't even kill the fish when you take them out of the water.
The fish are sweating.
Right. Mark Sauvé, I saw a YouTube video a few days ago about a 302 Cleveland, but it kept referring to the other engine. Any idea if there was actually a 302 Cleveland? Yeah, it's called the Boss 302.
Yeah, it's the small Windsor with the Cleveland heads.
Yeah, I don't know why they would call it a 302 Cleveland, but yeah, that's a Boss 302. Bob C, do you like 68 darts? Yes.
Yeah, I even like them.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
It's a universal thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rocco saying we need another Nashville trip in the spring.
Okay.
You mean you're coming to Nashville in the spring? Unless they Matt. Okay, unless they destroy to Cleveland,
they'd have to really destroy.
Yeah,
it's for 50 cubic inches. Yeah.
Curmudgeon is doing alignments on an outside rack in 30-degree weather. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. I go through this every year. What happens is I lose the will to live. So it's like it's hard to do anything when seasonal depression, man. I'm guilty of it. I get stuff done, but at a really slow and pathetic pace.
And for like 3 hours a day. And the rest is shit.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm done.
nap time.
Oh, Rocco was saying a follow-up to the last video with the 67 Chargers. Yeah, I haven't moved that car. Actually, I gotta take that car full scooter on the block. TK's garage is in the house. What's happening
What's
to
going
TK's
on,
garage?
buddy? What? Yeah.
Yes, dude. I get such a kick out of your videos. You cover a lot of.
I know. Every day he's got a zinger.
Yeah, yeah. So if you guys are into the whole late model Mopar thing, TK's garage. Like what do you do? Like, he just got done roasting the electric charger again.
Mm.
It's like one of the electric ones.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. That's you hook a charger up to the side of your grill and it's got enough oomph to spin the
Right.
chicken for 20 minutes.
If you guys are into like late model Mopar stuff, Stellantis stuff in general, you just the
And all the
new cars, right?
and all the garbage that goes on in Stellantis. Yeah.
TK's garage. Go over there and sub to him. I would say tell him Uncle Tony sent you, but he's already here.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay petty, my friends.
Mhm.
Big garage. Tony, what do you ride? I have a 91 electric ride EVO carbureted runs carburetor runs hard and loud. I've got 4 bikes currently, and I'm probably not going to add. I would say that, right?
Yeah.
I've-
Tell yourself another lie.
I've already gone through like 4 or 5 different bikes this year that I picked up, and I was just, I don't like this, and I got rid of it. But my permanent fleet, right? The bikes that's it. I'm keeping these damn things. I've got I'm a Sportster guy. So I've got an 02 883R, I've got a 99 Custom, and I've got a Buell Ulysses that are my main bikes, and I've got a Honda Super Cub that I just my happy tranquilizer, and I just roll through the neighborhood and look at the butterflies and wave at the neighbors and stuff like that. And Fubar just put up the link. Fubar is the most helpful human that has ever lived. By a long shot, I would think, right?
Yeah, I put up the link to TK's
Yes.
YouTube channel.
And now all we need is OC Motivator. I like both of you guys. You're both really cool. Maybe we'll do a live together. TK, what do you think? We get together one night, we do a live? Drew's Car Care, he met Richard Petty.
Nice.
I've never met Richard
I've
Petty.
never met Richard Petty.
Excellent.
He's better than both of us. I'm down anytime. Let me know. Okay, you'll get a hold of him.
Yeah, what's the best way to get a hold of you? I'll have Kathy Bananas drop you a line. Joe K is saying Brad is awesome. So Brad is OC Motivator. Fun with cars. Anyone here celebrate Harley's 100th anniversary party tour in the U.S.? No.
No, they used to have because I used to live in Milwaukee, and they used to have those. Well, those like a Harley homecoming. There'd be thousands of those.
Yeah.
Just closing the freeway.
Man, they sold a lot of bikes. That was probably one of the best gimmicks Harley Davidson ever came up with.
The
build up to the 100th anniversary,
right.
and then all of the 2003 anniversary models. Oh, they sold a bunch of bikes.
One of the best things they did for marketing too. The original Terminator movie.
I never saw it.
Oh, okay. And they had a real big upswing after that.
Okay.
It's like the Burt Reynolds Trans Am thing. It really helped them quite a bit. Just shoot them an email.
Well, too, the Evo had a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
Right. Because so in the 2003 era, I was an Ironhead freak. I had like 10 Ironhead Harleys just spread all over my world, along with 75 other bikes. But I was just an Ironhead freak, and I didn't want to have anything to do with Evo. So it was like a see no Evo, hear no Evo, speak no Evo, right? And then I got my hands on an Evo Sportster, and I was like, oh my god, like,
Oh, this is better.
So like the maturation of the Evo really had a lot to do with Harley Davidson's, because all of a sudden this was a reliable bike that didn't have puddles underneath it, and you know what I mean. It was like
It didn't sweat.
right. So by the time the 100th anniversary came around, they had already established a reputation for being decent motorcycles, which they didn't have 10 years previous. So,
Hot Rod Cabby, building a 70 Ranchero. Wondering if you ever messed with one of those in years ago in your shop. I messed with probably half dozen of those.
What was that now?
A 70 Ranchero. Right
Oh,
here.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because they got the cool front end on them.
Yeah. They're nice. I
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah. Those, yeah, there's a few years of those, the earlier ones that look real good, and they have a couple mid years that were a little funky looking. But that 70, that's a nice thing. I probably have worked on and built and owned probably half dozen of those. I had lots of Rancheros.
I've never had one. That was peak Ranchero. Because after
yeah.
that, they started getting like puffy and
Yeah, the
ponderous.
the Gran Torino, the big fish mouth grill. Yeah. And then they went to the 78s,
with
the
the giant
LTDs.
bumpers and the
There was the early ones are cool. The 66 and 67, they had the Fairlane stacked headlights.
Yeah.
And then 65 was ugly. 68 was an ugly year. And then 69, 70, and 71s were good looking.
69 was peak styling for Ford.
Oh, yeah.
The Mustang, out of all of the 69 is it, right?
Mhm.
The Torino, the fastback Torino.
Oh, yeah.
What a beautiful car. Like to this day, I see there's actually a guy in my neighborhood that has one. I pass it like all the time.
Mhm.
He never moves it. It sits in his driveway and he sits in a chair in his driveway all year round.
Oh, it just sits next to his car like.
You can't make this up. It's just for years now, right?
Mhm.
I've been in the room for 20 years. 20 years. He's been sitting in his driveway with his car year round. But when I pass it like every day, and it's beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful. And you go inside and the whole dash is all those round. It's, inside and out. It's
Sculpture.
beautiful car.
Beautiful car. And then, the Rancher. 69 was peak Ford. Peak Ford. Let's see. And FUBAR, the ever amazingly helpful FUBAR, put up a link again to my merch, right? TK, I gotta send you one of these shirts. Have you seen this?
Send him one. There you go. How about that one?
I got an old Winnebago with a 77 Mopar 440. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And the carburetor high idle screw doesn't engage for starting. Runs fine otherwise, needs with just a high idle screw. Do you have a vid on? Okay, so all right. So on the thermal quad, so that thing has a thermal quad on it, right? It's just such a goofy setup. Okay, the idle screw is weighted. Okay, it's big, heavy screw, right? And the weight of that screw is supposed to, when the choke is on, kick it to high idle, and then, so just spray some carb cleaner, anything like that on the linkage. The linkage is just a little gummed up.
Yeah, as soon as it freely, the weight of that screw will break it down. If it's got the original screw in it.
Yeah, it pivots off the throttle shaft, so they tend to get a little gummy and stuff. Internal combustion for the wind. Did you see the bottom of it? Because the piece standing up.
Yeah. Dr. Art got a 71 Torino convertible for sale. Got truckload parts while GT car red inside for sale. Everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. Tim says, send me an email, Tim.
I sent you that 70 T-Bird.
Yes.
$1,500. I thought you'd be like all over that.
It's just.
There's got a 429 in it, man.
But it's ugly.
Oh. What about Jeff's car? What year is Jeff's?
His is a 67 or 68.
It's the same basic car.
No. 70 is different.
Is it?
Yeah, it's much bigger and uglier. But no, I just know.
Thumper, 420 for 1,500 here in Nashville.
Yeah.
Look at the go to Facebook Marketplace, Nashville, and
type in 70 Thunderbird. It's there.
Yeah, let me see if I can find.
I think because I think I looked at that thing again today. I think it was still there.
All right. Nashville Marketplace. Oh, it's the whole car, bro. It's not.
yeah,
It's not just the engine.
It's the whole car.
Yeah, it's a 70 Thunderbird.
Yeah, you could fly down and spend a day and get it rolling and roll it back up to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only he's not in Wisconsin.
Thumper?
Yeah, I thought he was in Thumper. Where are you?
I think Thumper's in Wisconsin.
Oh, he needs the whole car. Okay.
228 people now.
It's War Ghost. Hey guys, can you please make an announcement and tell people to stop stripping it apart trying to restore a car? I'm seeing too many on Marketplace in pieces that are borderline useless. I know. Look, speak of the devil, and there he is.
Mr. Two Hacks
Garage.
We were just
literally just now
we
talking
just
about your
mentioned
car.
your name. He must have been like, yeah. Talking about Thunderbirds, and yours came up, sir.
Okay, David Morgan is asking, I guess, a carburetor problem. Okay.
Okay,
before I remove it and give it a clean out, I'm getting a stumble from idle to just accelerate on my quadrijet. So in other words, part throttle tip in. At the moment, I have my idea of the issue, but would like to bounce opinions off what I kitty here. Can you see accelerator pump action? So you open the throttle, you're seeing two hard squirts, right? If that's the case, check the timing, bump your timing up about 4 degrees and see if that doesn't fix the problem. So most of the time, that's what it is.
Yeah, just make sure when the car's off and you hit that throttle, you're getting that squirter to go. And if it's not going, there's your problem. Just that accelerator problem.
Look at this. TK's Garage just picked up a 70 Charger in Vegas. Oh, nice.
Nice.
How did you beat Drunker Up, Birdsong?
Birdsong, yeah. I thought you had all of them.
I thought Birdsong had a lock on everything Mopar in the area. That's another great channel. Drunker Up, Chris Birdsong.
Yeah.
Looking to get that mint body engine system sitting. What motor is in it, man?
TK, you might have to drop it off here for 6 months or so we can.
Yeah, bring it down. I'll make content out of it.
Yeah, we'll get it running, drive it around. It was $9,200. He's not sure of the engine.
Where's the distributor on it? You know, it's got to hit cylinders. Okay, assuming it's not an RT and assuming it's the original engine, okay? It's either going to be a 318, right, which the vast majority of them are 318s, and I'll have the distributor in the back, okay? Or it's going to be a 383, and that has a distributor in the front. So small block distributor in the back, big block distributor in the front. If it was a 440, it would be an RT. Let's see. Sabri Belong. What?
Okay. He said it's a 318 according to.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Those are a dime a dozen, bro. They're a dime a dozen.
Yeah. If I can rebuild one, you can get that one right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, that engine was a freaking disaster.
It was. Yeah, I mean, we coined the phrase "flood mug" and rebuilt it in the garage.
The thing that was amazing about that is that it did try to start. It had like 1 or 2 functional cylinders. Out of eight, there was like only 2 that had any hope of ever firing, and it came close to starting. Dodge Ram, Uncle Tony, it's an engine, not a motor. TK, you want? Oh, wait, I got to brag. So TK, I have a 318 in a 72 Dodge Coronet. It's called Bottle Rocket. So I did a short. Did you film? No, you didn't film it. Somebody else filmed it.
I didn't film it.
No. Go look at TK. Go look at my shorts. One that I posted about 2 months ago, and that's the 318 that's in my 72 Coronet.
Yeah, because when you pulled it out right before the weather turned bad, we were gonna.
Yeah, I was
On the way
supposed to
to the
race him.
tracks.
Right, I was getting ready to race him.
You pulled it out. You got a video of that when it's
Yeah.
idling. And yeah,
Now it'll run on 8 cylinders.
instead of 7.5
Yeah.
or 7. Yeah.
Want to get it done for Power Tour.
Yeah, they're going to be in Ohio.
That's right. It's going to the north this
yeah,
year.
Yeah.
I may hit one stop of that.
You maybe go to Indy or something.
Yeah, whichever one is closest. Whichever one is closest. Something I could just hit and come back.
Hit and run. Yeah.
He wants to get the engine done for Power Tour.
It's easy.
Yeah, I mean, the 318 is like the simplest engine in the world. It really is. Thumper saying Bottle Rocket has a date with Ace Ventura. You're going to lose via Draghi. My brother, do not underestimate the Bottle Rocket. Trust me on this. Just don't underestimate it. 72Z28. The previous owner of my XJ put a cheap exhaust on it. There's a baffle inside the muffler that likes to randomly rattle. I hate that.
Just get rid of the muffler.
Yeah. Get rid of the muffler.
It's not that loud.
They sound like Jaguars, right?
Yeah, they do.
I said it right that time. Right? It's a Jaguar.
Yeah.
No, it's
Jaguar.
right?
Yeah. Just cut the muffler off. It doesn't need it.
Seriously, bro. I've never heard anything so sweet in my life. Like Mission Improbable. I banged that thing up through the gears just to listen to it. I froze. I slipped out of gear.
One day we're gonna learn.
Oh yeah. Okay. You got it. All right.
There we go. What? Wait.
Maybe you made a mistake when we've got
Mountain Dweller. Arby's brought back potato cakes. Oh, if that's true, that made my day. I'll have to stop there on the way home.
Arby's?
Yeah, the potato cakes. You ever have those? They're like big triangle tater tot. They're delicious.
Really?
Yes.
What time are they open till?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Uncle's S10 just rebuilt my engine. Cast rings, break-in time, 500 miles. Is this right? Yeah. So the traditional wisdom is if you want the engine to last a really long time, you break them in gently. If you want it to be hard and fast, break them in hard and fast. So for me, I have cast rings. I take the thing out as soon as I know that the cam is settled in, right? I take them out and I just hammer, like mercilessly. When I was seating the rings on the Bottle Rocket's current engine, I seated the rings spraying it. Okay, first thing I did, I put it together. Is when I was getting ready to race Andy.
Yeah.
Right. Very fun. I bolted the motor back together again. I just wanted to go through it, make a couple of small changes. I bolted it back together again, started it up, pulled it onto the driveway of the shop, right, and hit it with 200 shot. That's how I set the rings in Bottle Rocket. But then I don't care if it lasts more than that engine only has to go an 1/8 mile at a time.
Yeah, like 11 miles.
It's like I don't care about the 661st foot. It's irrelevant to me. Dodge Ram just had Burger King. And now you'll have that nasty chemical taste in your mouth for the rest of the night.
Yeah, you wake up at 2 a.m, be like, But I do like the Burger King chicken sandwiches, the classic.
They were delicious. I used to eat like 6 of those friggin' things.
I know that
they were like candy, and then
I get them no lettuce with cheese and mayonnaise, and they're just
I know, but I'm telling you, I think it's in their bread mostly.
Yeah.
The chemical. Let's see.
10% of Burger King burgers have human DNA in it. Yeah, probably.
That's the rumor that's been going on forever.
Yeah.
First it was McDonald's, and
Yeah.
Buddy Carfano, build it, race it, fix it, repeat as needed. Yes. Let's see. Your wife got it for you. She wants you gone, bro.
Be careful what she's.
Be careful, yeah.
Have Burger King seal that bag before she brings it home. Yeah.
72Z20 says Taco Bell contains human fluid too.
Yeah. You don't need it. Oh,
Taco Bell is like in my opinion, Taco Bell is like the least offensive of all of the fast food. It's really not bad. It's like, so I get these grilled chicken.
You get the chicken thing.
Yeah, the grilled chicken like cantina things. There's really not much in there they could screw up because it's chunks of grilled chicken. You know that's real. It's not soy or anything like that. The lettuce, okay, it's freaking lettuce. Okay, they got their synthetic cheese, but who doesn't eat plastic every once in a while? And I know you don't get that sickening taste, that chemical taste in your mouth afterwards. So I think Taco Bell is like the least lethal of all of the fast foods.
It's the most lethal for me. But they make chicken nuggets now, which aren't bad.
I haven't had.
No.
Sabri Belong, thank you for the super chat, my brother. Tony, what do you think about Flowmaster Super 10 mufflers? Any horsepower gains or losses over straight pipes?
I mean, if you're going to run a Super 10, you might as well run straight pipes anyway.
Okay.
I mean, all you're going to do is create a pulse it doesn't need, and it's not going to really quiet much stuff up.
Yeah, if there's any loss, it's going to be minimal. But like you said, you might as well just run a straight pipe.
Save
save
the $150 for those two tiny mufflers and just pay it when you get the ticket.
They're more resonator than muffler.
Yeah.
They do make a nice. They give a nice tone. I'll give you that. Gary Brender, except the chickens are raised on hormones. Everything is raised on hormones, bro.
Yeah.
Let's see. TK, you don't have to super chat me. Thank you, though. Let's super chat Kane Django. He's trying to get me from the
he's buttering you up. Yeah, he wants to do a live.
He wants me to do a 318, I think. He probably went and saw the video of Battle Rock,
and he's like,
that's what I want.
Buy a gasket set and use whiplash cam and drop it off and take care of the rest.
That's not a whiplash. That's a roller. It's a comp roller.
Well, if he wants to pay the money, but other than that, yeah.
And Fubar just put up the link to TK's Garage again. And again, you guys who joined us since, if you're into the whole late model Mopar thing, if the Stellantis ongoing saga of doom and desperation, if you're into all of this stuff, TK's Garage, go over there and check them out. I watch. You put too many videos up. I can't catch all of your videos. I don't have enough time in a day, but I watch a lot of them. No, I didn't, Rocco. I got the super chat from Sabri. Yes. TK, yeah, the garbage era of Mopar. It's an embarrassment, bro. It's such an embarrassment. Even non-Mopar guys feel bad for us old timers.
It's bad.
I honestly hope it just ends. You know what I mean? I would feel much better about the whole thing if Stellantis just went tits up and just the brands just disappeared and we could just put a closure. You know
a nice headstone on the side of the freeway.
Right.
Call it good.
R.I.P. Dodge. Chrysler. It's done. Dodge Ram is saying Wendy's changed their food since Dave died. Wendy's is freaking horrible. I used to go for their loaded mesh potatoes.
Yeah,
it was good. The bacon and cheddar potato was awesome. And then I got one, I guess maybe 2 years ago. I couldn't choke it down.
They're bad because the same thing. My thing I used to get at Wendy's was a spicy chicken sandwich with cheese, but then the buns are made out of caustic sponge.
Caustic sponge, yes.
And it's like, no, can't do it.
No, I could not choke down that potato. Did I ever tell you that the potato that almost killed me?
No, I haven't.
I never told you about that one.
No, I don't think I've heard this one.
I used to hit, those all you can eat beef things, steak things.
Yeah.
Okay, I used to hit those, and I never lost one. Okay,
Mhm.
So they had one here in town. It was one of the restaurants defunct now. Oh, another super chat. Thank you, War Ghost. I get that in 1 second. So anyway, I used to hit all these all you can eat, steak things,
Mhm.
and the one here in town, you had to eat the steak. It was a 5-pound steak, and it was Texas toast, a salad, and a mash, and a baked potato. Okay, and you had to do it all in an hour. So I wiped out the steak in like 15 minutes. It was done, right? 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then I take my time on the salad, take my time on the Texas toast. I saved the potato for last. I had like 10 minutes left. Well, the freaking potato was raw. Okay,
Oh.
they gave me a raw freaking potato. I mean, it's as close to raw as you could get. Like, you had to saw it.
Cut it and it makes
You had
that
to actually
noise.
saw into it. Yeah. So I got down to like the last 30 seconds, and I had been taking chunks of potato and like just putting them in my mouth and washing them down with water like pills. And they all got piled up here in my throat. And
You're
the last
full.
one, I was like, you ain't going to beat me with this friggin' potato, motherfucker. So it went and it got jammed right there. It wouldn't go any further. So I won.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But I almost died in the process. So Wargos wants to know, what exactly is Power Tour? I've heard you talk about it for years now, and I finally have a 68 Newport. Excellent car to do with.
Doesn't
to join
matter.
in with.
Yeah.
What should one expect? So Power Tour is like a rolling cruise night, for lack of a better.
For 6,000 people.
Yeah. So it didn't have any appeal to me at first. For the longest time, they've been running it. They've been having it all over the place, and I never really cared about it because I just don't care about rolling around and sitting in parking lots. But then I went to the first one that they had here at Nashville at the Speedway, and I was like, wow, this is actually extremely cool. And it's a free-for-all rolling car show that goes on for days, and they just go from location to location. You follow the tour, and it's fun. It's a really cool thing.
Yeah, I did it back in 2018 when it's 5 days. Now it used to be 7 days. And I had that 14 Mustang, and we went all the way from Kentucky through Nashville, through Georgia, through the Carolinas and stuff like that. It was a good time.
Okay. Rusty Fuel, thank you for the super chat. Chipotle tastes like a decomposing New Jersey sewer rat. The portions are too small. Man, I tried Chipotle and it was like, what are you trying to do? They feed you like you're a little 6-year-old girl with polio or something, right? These little tiny portions. No, I ain't gonna deal with that. Effectual Insurrection. Where is this tour at? I always wanted to do the Gumball Rally. Go to
Hot Rod Power Tour.
Hot Rod Power Tour webpage. They just
2025. Yep.
Yeah, they just posted the tour. So every year they move it around a little bit. They go to like 5 different locations. So this year they're doing it like through the Northeast. Northeast? No.
No, Midwest. Lower Midwest.
Yeah, lower Midwest. All right, let's see. Let's see. Sorry, Tuesday 28th. Chipotle has some issues with salmonella, but I've always had okay experiences there. End of time. With a Roller 302, should I get rid of the Doris Spark setup and go to dual points? No, Doris Spark's a great setup. I like points for my own personal reasons. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with a Doris Spark. That's a fantastic ignition. It's actually one of the best. I would rate the Doris Spark even ahead of the HEI. They're great. If it works, keep it working.
The only problem with Duraspark are the Chinese Duraspark boxes.
Yes, right.
If you can get the original Ford ones, if you find one in a Ford pickup in the junkyard that's got the front end smashed off, that thing ran when to the scene of the accident. Pull that box out of there because that's better than anything you would buy now.
Craig Simpson, thank you, brother. Thanks for revving up the engines Rev up your engines. Wednesday night.
Rev up your engines is Wednesday night.
Craig, when are we doing that show? Did you set it up with Kathy Bananas? Scoop is saying I can't afford fast food anyway, so I guess I'm not. No, you're not.
You know, you're not
You'll live long enough to make more money than the rest of us because, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Tell Uncle Kathy. She's Kathy. Are you watching? She's always watching. She has eyes and ears everywhere. It's crazy.
The ever-present.
Yeah, omnipresent. Is that
ever-present,
whatever.
omnipresent. She's everywhere.
Drew's car here solder Duraspark connector wires instead of the connector. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Kathy Bananas. Check the email from Craig. We have that show to do with him. There she is.
You right.
Yes. Check the emails from Craig Simpson. So he sent us a schedule for the thing. And Kathy, TK's garage is on here too. TK, if you're still hanging around, send Kathy Bananas an email at UncleTony'sGarage.com and let's get together and get a live done. Let's see. All right. Kathy responds, and I can hear the dogs barking. Dude, you should. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera. My whole. Where's the camera? Look at. Well, you can't see it. You can't see it. My whole. Both of my arms are nothing but like bite marks. The puppy just. She's vicious. She's vicious all the time. She doesn't stop. Let's see. Mexican Spec. Tony, do you think the mother would let the puppy continue to bite her? Yes, they do that. Dogs have different skin and stuff than we do. They have like this rubbery kind of resilient skin, and they do this to each other all the time. It's constant, and only once in a blue moon you hear like a yelp, and then when the yelp happens, they stop because they know, okay, I hurt the other one. But the puppy doesn't really understand that yet, and thinks that I have, gummy, rubbery dog skin, and she's just always constantly. Effectual insurrection. Yeah, it's play biting, but I'm a human. It doesn't work like that.
Not a dog.
We don't play bite. Klein Lawn Care and Snow Plowing. Like to see more videos on practical buying cars and simplicity because of newer quality and complexity. I completely agree. We need to do that walkthrough at Polo Park.
Yes.
And let's look at candidates, like things that we would consider this is a good potential and this is like stay away from this. I think that'd be a good video.
It would be. Probably, it's going to snow all weekend, but probably next week.
Is it going to? Don't tell me it's going to snow. I don't know.
Friday and Saturday, man. It's another storm coming this way.
Jeff Hutchins is saying our female husky bit her puppies back. Yeah, well, that's what they do. That's what they do. They let the puppy go. And then when the puppy goes too far, they give the puppy a quick bite. Not to hurt it, but just to say, stop. That's enough. But it doesn't work like that with us.
Rain, sorry.
Rain?
Rain.
I'll take rain.
Yeah.
Effectual insurrection. When I trained dogs, labs, and shepherds, I always told them no and touched their nose. Yeah, good luck doing that with Molly. It doesn't work. Been there, done it.
Come down, try it for a day. Here's Molly.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
Put ketchup on your arms and try it.
There was a TV movie in the 70s called a Trilogy of Terror. Now, I remember watching this when I was a kid.
Okay.
And it left an effect. I was like, oh, it's really creepy, right? So one of the scenes, some lady brings back this little doll, like it's a voodoo doll. Okay, it has like these teeth, and then the thing starts chasing her around the house, and it screams. It's going, right? Okay, that's my puppy.
That's Molly.
That's Molly. If you guys want to see what I have to deal with every day, find a clip, Trilogy of Terror, and look for the little like vicious doll. Okay, and that's my daily reality right now. Mexican Spec is saying use 2 fingers on the neck of the puppy to simulate the mother's bite. It does work. Okay, that I didn't think of trying. I tried the touching the nose. I tried the tapping the nose. I tried swatting the nose. It doesn't seem to matter. Yeah, but I'll try the 2 fingers. That's the on button from Holly, right? Corgi Connect. For the puppy, try it, leave it, and as soon as she pauses, give her a little treat. Okay. Get the dog teeth glove.
We were just talking.
Yeah,
about
he was talking about that.
My daughter had a Malinois puppy, and I literally got the thickest leather welding gloves you could get all the way down to the elbow. Then I could play with the dog, and it was fine. But it would, other than that, it would just tear you up.
Mark Sauvé is saying you have to react to the pain, yelp or yell ouch. They get the message. No, it doesn't work with them.
Bob, I'm researching plans for interdimensional time travel capsule hot rod build.
Okay. Bob Lazar.
Mm-hmm. I have a time traveling video on my channel.
Do you?
Yes.
Nice. What
Yeah.
What does that consist of?
It consists of me going back in time, telling me to order the right parts.
Nice.
And with the bucket on my head and the whole thing, it's complete hilarity. I thought so. Nobody watched it, but I thought it was funny as shit.
But yeah, Bob, I'm telling you, find Bob Lazar. He was a drag racer. A lot of people don't know that. They only know him as like the UFO guy that worked on Area 51 and all of that, retrofitting like flying saucers and shit. But he's a drag racer. He
didn't he put a jet engine on his like Corvette or something like that?
Well, he had a couple of jet dragsters.
Okay.
And then I don't know what he's got a bunch of different cars, but he's a drag racer. So yeah, you've already got something in common with him. He may have some actual tips for you. Dr. Drew's car carrier is saying that would screw up the time continuum, Dr. Art.
What do I care about the time continuum? Time is a big joke anyway. So
let's see. Unsymmetrical dimethylhydrazine roads. We don't need where we're going. Where we're going, we don't need roads. He could create a separate timeline. You know what? You could actually do that if you could possibly go back in time.
I can't.
You could create a separate timeline in which your ranger would have a chance against Bottle Rocket.
See, now I think you're in some interdimensional delusional.
I'm just saying, it's a way that you actually have a chance of getting to the stripe ahead of my little blue 318.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, snap. Oh, time has come today. Oh, what a great song, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were a gospel band.
Who did?
The Chambers Brothers.
Still don't know who that was.
You don't know the song Time?
Maybe.
It's one of your it's one of those like ultimate timeless classics from that era, like Inagata Davida. Time by the Chambers Brothers. You've heard it. You just don't know
Okay.
Yeah, because they've used it in commercials and stuff like that. But it's like one of those proto rock things. But they were actually a gospel band.
Okay.
Yeah. Pink Floyd's Time? No. Look up Chambers Brothers Time and play the long version. Forget about the short version because there's like the radio play version and then there's the long version, which is like 11 minutes or so. No, not Time Is on My Side. It's Time Has Come Today. Driveway of Misfits knows the song.
But the Rangers going to get Bottle Rocket.
Only if I forget to put pistons in before I leave the house.
Which you might. You do get off track once in a while.
I do get off track. I get horribly off track. Alan Shildroth, what is a good DIY motor flush? ATF.
Well, is he talking for the innards or like when the coolant gets rusty?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, see, I was thinking coolant motor meaning oil.
Yeah, I mean.
What are you looking for, Alan? What are you looking to flush?
Yeah, the coolant system or the innards of the motor.
Yeah.
Because the innards definitely is diesel fuel.
The thing with diesel fuel is yeah, it's a good one, but see, like I throw a couple of quarts so I'll have the regular oil filled, whatever's in there, and I'll throw 2 quarts of ATF in over and above that, and just drive it for a couple of days.
And just let it, yeah.
You can't do that with the diesel.
Right.
It thins the oil too much. It's I mean,
it turns into that black little
danger.
goo. Yeah. Engine. He's so okay.
We need more cowbell. KJ Kylie, 5 quarts of acetone.
Woo!
Yeah, don't drive it like that. You could throw a couple of quarts of ATF in on top of the regular fill, drive it for days. You know what I mean? It won't hurt anything, but it will break all of the stuff loose.
Corgi Connect. I'm into a Carter BBD rebuild. Mixture screws will not remove. Both stop a turn or so out. Solution, or is the base screwed?
Oh,
Are they just carved out?
They're seized in there.
Yeah.
Both stop a turn or so out. Heat. I would take like a MAP gas or a propane torch and heat the base. Get it nice and toasty, and while it's warm, work the screws back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Just take your time. Sometimes you got to go back and forth like 100 times on each one before they actually start screwing out. If you go too hard, you're just going to pull the threads right out of the aluminum. But get it nice and hot first.
Fill it with Dawn dish soap, and I'll watch from here.
Jeff Hutchins saying Garage 54 showed that a short interval oil change does a good motor flush over time. Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Hyacinth. Good evening, lads. Hope you're all enjoying a wonderful Wednesday. If it isn't too much to ask, is there a car you think is best as a first 70s car? Best 70s car.
There's a few of them.
It depends what you're looking for, Hyacinth.
Yeah.
Okay, be more specific. Just throw a couple of car ideas at us, and we can probably make you some decent suggestions. Gary Brander, Tony, have you found out why the front half of? No, I have not. I haven't dug into it yet. Why? Because the weather sucks, and I've become a soft old man. There is nothing, not a single badass thing about me left. And I am so happy about that.
All the anger's subsided.
Oh, yes, all of my anger and rage has been expended. And I was just like, I just don't care, you know? I'm waiting to see Hyacinth
Yeah.
come back. I would like to help her. Okay, Hyacinth, if I might clarify, for cruising around, I've heard Novas were excellent choices as well as a few Plymouths, but only if I could find them. Okay, Mopars are great. I am a Mopar guy. I'm a lifelong Mopar guy. But if you're looking for your first car and your main priority is just cruising around, and you want something from like the 70s kind of feel, find an early G body. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Find an early G body. So a G body is a mid-size General Motors car, and they downsized them in 1978.
Yeah, about there. About 78, 79, yes.
Yeah, 78, I believe, was the first year for the downsized G bodies. So here's your choices would be a Monte Carlo, a Malibu, a Buick Regal, a Buick Century, an Olds Cutlass, a Pontiac Grand Prix. Did Pontiac make a?
Yeah.
I know they made the Grand Prix, but did they have another one? The Parisienne.
Well, that's a bigger four door. Those are beautiful cars.
They are. They are. They actually are. So yeah, I look for an early G body. Those are going to be your simplest, the small body build, but that was the same as the Parisienne. Although those work too. Those work too.
Mm-hmm.
One of those cars would be your simplest, easiest, cheapest way to get into the vintage car thing. Second choice would be early Fox Mustangs or any of the Fox cars, like a Fairmont or the T-Bird in those years was a Fox. So I think those would be your best bets for affordable, simple, easy way into
Later
the old
70s
car
cars,
hobby.
yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Dodge Ram says, "Don't laugh, but I want a Dodge Omni." Why would I laugh? They're good.
They're great. They're like a goat off road. They'll go up any.
Yep. Let's see. Thunderstruck has a 86 G body, Grand Prix greatest. It's a simple car, but yeah, they're fantastic. Yes, the G body is shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Mopar shuffle long before the G body shuffle. That's the G body thing is a copy. Is a copy. Mexican Spec is saying Dodge Omni and Nice have never been used in the same sentence before. Dude, I had several of them. You know, the different K car derivatives. They were great cars.
And they just went.
Yes. I wouldn't get involved in one now because parts are so scarce. But yeah, no, they were good. Bob, the song was psychedelicized. Yeah. Time has come today.
See, Roma, this is for you. Hello, Tony and Art. Would switching out 340X heads that have been ported and polished to any...
And no, man. No, Charlie.
No.
You're not. No. Stick with the iron heads for performance. Like I know if you've already got them. You see what I'm saying? If you didn't have them, then yeah, pick up a set of Edelbrocks. They're good heads. I'm not knocking the heads. They're good. But since you've already got the ported X's, use those. You don't have to worry about seats falling or anything like that. And there's always a slight horsepower advantage to cast iron too, because it retains the heat. Yes, the GLHS, absolutely. For those guys who aren't familiar, so there was an Omni, okay. So Shelby, Carroll Shelby Automotive had to deal with Chrysler at that period of time. So they took an Omni and they hot rodded it up. I forget exactly what they did to it. And they called it the GLH, which stood for Goes Like Hell. And then it was turbocharged. And then they put an intercooler on it, and then they changed the name of it to the GLHS. So it was like Goes Like Hell some more. That's literally what GLH stands for. Allison is coming in just to say, hey, Tony. Hey, Allison. Driveway of Misfits, turbo 2.2 engine, 150 horsepower on a car that weighed nothing. They were a blast.
And at the time, that's all the power you needed.
Yeah, no, they were severe. The thing that kept me away from those, right, back in the day, so it was in the 80s when all of this stuff was happening, the thing that kept me away from those was the front wheel drive. You could not hook it. See, all I cared about at that period of my life, aside from getting into the nitro thing, but as far as like regular cars go, all I cared about was how is this thing going to work on the street, okay? And the problem with the front wheel drive cars is you can't hook them. You know, you can't. They're just terrible for. You can't get a consistent launch out of them because obviously they're transferring weight away from the tires that count.
Yeah,
right?
All the weight's coming off the tires.
So that's why back in the day I never got involved with them. But if that wasn't your primary, like the only thing I cared about is how is this thing going to move in the first 10 feet. Like that. Beyond that, I don't give a shit what the car does. So that was the biggest problem. That's why I stayed away from those cars. But if I was looking for just a well-rounded, high-performance car to have fun with, those Omnis, the Hot Rod K cars, were absolutely the biggest bang for the buck you could find. Rocco was saying the GLHS did 1490 stock. Yes, but very, very inconsistently. You couldn't get it consistently. You had to get really lucky to get that thing to bite, and a lot of finesse to get there.
And then they forget at that time there wasn't all the cool front wheel drive focused drag radials and
right, nothing like that.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. No front wheel drive drag racing
friend.
existed. Exactly.
And they were rock hard. Yeah.
Exactly. I should have brought that. You're right about that.
That's a challenge that we had back in the day. We didn't have all the cool stuff that's laying around now.
The Dodge 024 K car was sporty. Well, I had an 82 Charger for I don't know a few weeks back then. I used to change cars, constantly. I never held on to a car for more than a couple of weeks. But I had an 82 Charger 2.2 5-speed for a couple of weeks back then. It was my transportation I was doing working for Cars Illustrated magazine, and it was a great car. And no complaints as a car. I just didn't see them as a viable performance platform. It's okay, but once you get a turbo front wheel drive car planted, it disappeared.
Yeah. No, he just retracted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rethinking his comments.
Yeah, so you get them planted, okay, and then you power shift second and have to drive all over the place.
The torque steer.
Because of the torque steer.
Yeah. Then on the later, like Eagle Talons and stuff, they figured if they had equal length axles, they got rid of most of the torque steer.
Well, some of it.
A good part of it. Instead, because the first ones you'd be like, whoa.
I remember that.
Doing a one wheel burnout in those with the steering wheel clock 90 degrees to go straight.
Olive saying she had an 82 Turismo with a 2.2 and a 5-speed. Yeah, I had the same one.
Yeah.
Well, the Charger was the Dodge version of that. Yep, Klein Lawn Care. Lee Iacocca turned more power around from bankruptcy with vehicles like the Aries K and the Omni. Yeah, and then the minivan. The minivan is really what saved Chrysler. And the minivan would not have existed if it wasn't for the K car. So, yeah, absolutely. And I, like you realize that was like a revolutionary thing. You think about it, right? At the time, AMC had the XJ, the Jeep XJ, and Chrysler had the minivan. Okay, and now, like literally, everything on the road is a descendant of a match of those two vehicles.
Right.
You know what I mean? They both came from that 1984 period,
Mm-hmm.
right? 1984, 1985. And literally everything on the road today is a combination of the minivan and
the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crossover SUV.
You're never going to get like a Lee Iacocca to go into like a Stellantis because all these companies are so corporate mucky mucks that run them, and they just want to, you know, everyone's got a bright idea and they're all assholes. So for one guy to come in and change a place, it'd never happen because everybody would get jealous and run them out of town and think they knew better, and the whole place is going to go to shit, just like most of the car companies right now.
William Burns says he has a 88 2.2 turbo Type 1, and it's on his third head gasket. Yeah, I know that was an issue with those.
Mm-hmm.
Are you copper coating them? I know you're not supposed to, but I remember, if I remember correctly, back in the day, that was like the fix for those things. You got to just copper coat. And look, Zero just put up the link to your channel.
To my channel.
Do you not feel special?
I do.
Yes.
I'm kind of warm and glowy at this point.
So follow Zero's direction and go to Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab and sub to Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab.
Sub. You don't even need to sub. Just watch.
And sub and like and share and
buy merch.
Ring bells.
Buy the new Heavy Tuning T-shirt.
Yes, buy his merch.
Which is heavily discounted. I'd honestly make like $2 a piece on them.
Nice.
So
profit sucks. I don't want to deal with anything.
Yeah,
like
I need bulk.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Look, Effectual Insurrection just subscribed.
Nice. Well, thank you very much.
This tobacco really sucks, Dr. Art.
Well, I'm not the one who forgot my tobacco at home.
How do you do this show without smoking?
I don't have. I go home and I smell like I'm smoked. So it's my lungs take it in. I get the nice secondhand nicotine high, and I'm happy. And you know.
And then Furo put a link to my merch, where I actually care about profit. so thank you, Furo.
He's got puppies to feed.
I have puppies to feed. I'm going to need blood transfusion soon. So, yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's right, Rocco. If I sell 3 T-shirts tonight, I can go get a McMuffin tomorrow in the morning.
Look at this. Thunderstruck 666 is saying, Dr. Art is such an interesting guy. Long life for your channel, buddy. See, there you go.
There you go. I'm getting all this. I just warm and fuzzy on the inside,
right?
Like I've got some kind of uranium core or something. I'm just glowing.
How many likes do you see? Wow, we don't have any. There's barely any likes. Look at that. Nobody likes us. They say nice things about us,
they
but
show
they don't
up
care enough to actually hit a like button. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oliver saying, I think if Tony had ganja, we'd be talking about Bigfoot being on Rosicrucian with EFI or something. I haven't touched that stuff since literally like since the 70s.
You're special, just like everybody else.
Years back, my neighbor bought quarter pounds for a 67 GTX and never received them. I bet it was Tony. Oh, I have never. Listen, never. I was in a parts business for a good 10 years. Nobody ever got screwed from me, ever. If anything, I screwed myself more times than underpricing things, and well, you have no idea. D-Truth, Tony, does putting a screw in the vacuum secondary work?
That's what?
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know either.
Why does it appear dim? We look dim, don't we look dim?
Well, I think that's more a comment on our intellect than.
No, beyond our
It
it looks kind of grayish, doesn't it?
It's a gray walls, and I don't know. The lights are too far back. I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird.
We need some color. You need a stylist for your room.
Firefly, you guys need a hookah. Take a drag before. I had hookah. I had coffee houses, and at the time that I had the coffee houses, the hookah thing was crazy. It was like a fad. So I had hookah. Please, hookah. I had hookah pipes everywhere. Everywhere.
And Greg Sprung, thanks for the
Thank you for the super chat.
Today sucks. Can't even steal a for sale sign to make a good floorboard that's all plastic.
That's true. That's true. What's one of the problems with the modern world? It's like you can't steal a good for sale. You're absolutely right.
Right. And there's too much plastic and not enough metal to make floorboards.
Yes, but I could take your $10 and go to the scrapyard and buy a sheet of, a piece of sheet steel.
You could probably buy a fender at Pick Apart.
I could buy a fender. Exactly. So thank you. Now I have it and you don't.
Mm-hmm.
We screwed the bro. That was I had that sign 69 Carter 500. Charlie, do you remember I had that sign in my shop? We screwed the other guy and passed the savings on to you. I swear to God, in the shop I had on Castleton Avenue, and then at my home shop, I had that exact sign, big. As soon as somebody walked in, we screwed the other guy and passed the savings on to you. Rocco is saying hookah was from all the guys returning from the Middle East. It was popular. It was crazy
Yeah,
popular.
hookah bars were everywhere for a short term.
Power toys. How many miles is too many miles for an XJ price wise? I think over 250, you start looking at them.
You got to really pay attention to the condition.
Yeah, over 250. They pretty regularly safely go to 300. The transmissions, 300. Right? There's no question you'll get 300 out of the transmission. The motor is your wild card, and over 250, you start like really looking at it. Firefly, Tony, what was the most popular flavor to the strawberry? Strawberry and vanilla were the two most popular, and cherry. People love the cherry. Gerard, evening, guys. I just checked on the headliner on my 73 Torino and saw a bunch of surface rust under some of the braces that is impossible to get to. Any tips before I put the new headliner in?
Yeah, just rust encapsulator and mask everything off real well so you don't get it all over your interior and everything else, and blast it in there and come back in 2 days and hang your headliner. Yeah,
well, rust encapsulator, I think if it's just surface rust, first off, it's probably nothing to worry about because it's just condensation will occasionally get there. It's not, by the time it actually damages things, right? You will all be dead. Everybody you know and everything will be gone by the time it actually rusts through from the inside like that. Headliner, unless you live in Florida. Rust encapsulator, or I would, if I was really concerned about it, get some of the Rust-Oleum rusty metal primer and a spray bomb and just hit it. And it won't eliminate the rust that's there, but it'll keep more from
happening.
Yeah, it'll keep it from spreading.
And you put your headliner up, nobody knows.
Yeah. Let's see. Marcus Hovey is saying cover it, pour 15. That's what Dr. Art's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Gerard, you're right. It's held up for 50 years. Yeah. The only places. So if you live on the Gulf of America. Sorry, Mexicans.
I like that.
So do I. I love that. Well, because it's all in America.
It's
There's
all
nothing
in
to
part
think
of North
about it.
America. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
If you live on the Gulf, right, where you get that salt air condensation, because Florida cars and cars from the immediate Gulf area have the most insane rust issues. They rust on they
From the
rust
inside.
from the inside out on the top. So you'll find the tops of fenders rotted through, the tops of quarter panels rotted through, A pillars. I've had I had a car not too long ago. Well, actually, when I was a long time, it was probably about 10 years ago, but it was a dart that had come up from Florida, and the A pillars you could actually crunch them, right? They were just like they were like crackers. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Mhm.
because in that salt water off of the Gulf, when like you have humidity and condensation in regular places, well, on the Gulf it has salt in it, so that salt gravitates to the top parts of the interior, the inside of the car, and it rusts from the inside out. So that if you live down there, I'd say yeah, you may have a potential problem. But beyond that, if you live like on the continental, the rest of it, don't worry about it. SRP invested in Bitcoin 4 years ago, just sold for over 800. Have you seen XRP today? XRP made a big move today. Dodge Ram was saying the salt is in the air down there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the main Burlock cars in California usually don't rust. Yeah, I don't know why that is. You don't get it in California, but you do get it in the Gulf. Why would that be? You're a California guy.
Lived there, but I didn't live there.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well, because most of California is a desert.
yes.
So, and there's,
But cars that come from the LA area don't have.
yeah, but there's a lot more. It's just jet streams and things like
Oh,
that.
okay.
So the way the wind comes in
Okay, Drew's car care is saying near the ocean, yes, in Cali. Okay.
yeah.
It burns down before it rusts.
That's really, I mean, for the whole real car culture that just took a big dent. Everything's. You left the titles for sale.
Govi's garbage revivals. Tony, are you going to show the world how to backwards compatible the Jeep? Yes, it's going to be Project Mad Maxine. Because I can't name something after a guy. Machinery has to have a female name. Because you have to bond with it, you have to work with it and stuff like that. So all machinery should be a she. So it's going to be Project Mad Maxine.
Yeah, the titles were burned, but they're in a database somewhere. Proper ID, you can get a new one for $25. And
What's that?
he said all the titles in California burned too.
Oh. Craig Simpson says inland cars in California had rust-free karma. I have a 78 Cherokee from California, zero rust. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I lived out west, it was, it was great. It's not like the cars up north. You could buy something out of a junkyard, have it towed home, put it in the garage, put it up on a jack stand, spray the car with WD-40, and then come back in the morning and take the whole car apart in 20 minutes.
Something occurs to me all the time, and it did after I did that video on the Survivable Classics.
Mhm.
Right, we are spoiled
Here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this is, I should actually do a video on this because I have an apology to make to a lot of people who don't have the circumstance that we do. Because I always make it sound like it's so easy. Oh, just go find a 90s this or an 80s this.
Just go to Marketplace and get an $800 1987 Cherokee.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing these videos, I'm not realizing, I'm not taking into account that we happen to be in a sweet spot. Okay, we're just under the jet stream. You know what I'm saying? We're in a rust-free zone. So we get cars here regularly. Like it's normal to find an 1860s car that has zero rust or just slight bits of it. Okay, that you can take apart with regular tools. And then I remember and I realized how things were when I lived up in New York. and you have a 10-year-old car, right? I was messing around back then, I'm working on something, 10 years old, and stuff is just rusted and seized and holes and horrible. We happen to live in a like a sweet spot that runs through kind of like Southern California, through like Oklahoma and like northern Texas, and then through like Arkansas, and then like here, right, and then out through like North Carolina, North and South Carolina, where it's just like a rust-free zone. It's just a belt. You know what I mean? It's just under the jet stream, so we don't get a lot of ice. We don't get a lot of salt on the roads, and stuff just lasts and lasts and lasts. So Mark Sylvia is saying 10-year-old cars are pooched. Yes.
Yeah, you need your best friend up there is a acetylene torch for taking stuff apart.
Power Toys, would you also recommend the Comanche? Yes. A Comanche is a pickup truck XJ. Yes, absolutely. Anything that an XJ does, a Comanche does.
We're talking about cars for $4,500. Olive literally never had $4,500 at one time.
Which is in one place. Respelling Garage is saying the Comanche is a tight fit. Yeah, you don't have the ability for leg room in that like you do in an XJ.
They're like, yeah, you gotta like those because you're gonna get real snuggly in them.
Rob's Classic XJs are very expensive if they're rust-free around me. I can't find cheap ones. They're rusted out. See, here, it's like, no. It's like the only one I have that has any rust, is the black four-wheel drive that I'm using right now. It has some rust in the floorboards. And it's because it sat for a long time with the windows open. So it's got like 2 spots on each side that need to be patched. But there's no like heavy corrosion or anything like that.
Fenders falling off.
Yeah. Like the one I just picked up, the 2000 completely rust free. Mission Improbable.
There's no rust on that thing at all.
Right.
Yeah, that was rust free, and that was what, $800.
Did I pay that much for it?
I think that's with gas and cheeseburgers and everything. I think it was $800.
Let's see. Drew's Car Care is saying Craigslist and Cali has mostly rust-free cars. I would imagine. They had fire sale cars. Okay, Spectre. He's from Saudi Arabia. Welcome, my friend. I'm not from the U.S., but is there a reason for me to pick the XJ over the 70 Series Land Cruiser?
No.
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 I'll tell you what. Go with whichever one in your area, because every place is different. Go with whichever one has the biggest following. Right? See, here there's a big Toyota following here in the States, but it's not nearly as big as the Jeep following. Where you are, it may be completely different.
Yeah, where he is, the Nissan Patrols and the Toyota Land Cruisers and stuff like that are all the rage up there. They didn't get any Jeeps in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, unless they were brought in by guys shipping them there.
So yeah, go with whatever is your local thing, your local go-to vehicle, because that's where you'll have the biggest choice of parts. That's where you'll have the know-how. You know what I mean? You'll be able to keep it going more effectively, cheaper than you will, a Hilux. I bet you Hiluxes are huge.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a bunch of Hiluxes out there? Because that's one I'd like to have. Thumper is saying in my area, it's women in comfortable shoes wearing flannel with mullet haircuts driving outbacks. Richard Stanberry, Uncle Tony, what was the last year that Mopar V8s had a hole through the block for the distributor shaft? The Magnum. So whatever year they stopped doing the Magnum.
2002-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was some bleed over 2002, 2003, but by 2003 they're all gone.
Yeah, well, the 4.7 was so. At some point, they ran both the 5.2 and the 5.9, which were Magnums, and the 4.7. The 4.7 has no distributor access, but they used those two engine families at the same time, and then they switched over to the Hemi, which has no. Okay, let's see. Josh Salina, no Hilux in Tacoma or not? I know. Let's see. Power Toys. Any chance that new podcast is still in the works? I'll tell you what, man. The will is there, okay, but the free headspace is not currently. Give me a little time. Give me a little time. Let's see. Let's see. Super DBS fan. With the oiling problem you have identified with the lifters on the Gen 3 Hemi, do you think a higher pressure and/or high flow oil pump would help? Absolutely not.
Nope.
Nope. Won't do a thing for it. So, for you guys who don't know what we're talking about, Gen 3 Hemis eat cams. They're known to eat cams and lifters, right? What happens is the lifter, the roller in the lifter stops, and then it starts dragging the lifter over the cam, and instead of rolling, and it eats the cam up. So this is going back several years ago. I dissected one of these engines trying to figure out exactly why this is, because it doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't happen in any other engine, but it was consistently happening with those engines. So at that point, I had come to the conclusion that the way typically in a V8, the cam is down low in the valley, right? And so as the crank is spinning, as the crank is running, and oil is being thrown off the connecting rods, it's splashing up on the crank, on the cam, it's splashing onto the lifters. It's getting plenty of, it's just, the whole cam and lifter setup is just swimming in oil anytime the engine is running. On the Gen 3 Hemi, they moved the cam way up, away from the crank and rods. And the lifters are at an angle, instead of being like the typical like 90 like this, they're laid out like this. And so what happens is they're not getting enough splash at low RPM, like at idle and stuff. There isn't enough splash in the crankcase to reach those lifters. And the oil that comes down that would normally lubricate them drips straight down instead of following and getting into the rollers that are in the lifter. So that's why they go bad. So it has nothing at all to do with pressure. It has nothing to do with volume. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with secondary oiling via splash. And at idle and low RPM, it just is not getting it up there. And that's where the problem is.
Yeah, and if you could set up, I think Shane Polito did this. You could set up some kind of like piston squirter, but squirts on the cam.
Yeah.
Just to keep them wet.
Yeah.
And that thing would go 100,000 miles, no problem.
I discovered that. The whole cam thing.
Yeah.
And Zero just put up a link to your channel.
Woo!
The ever helpful, amazing Zero. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Must be the derelicts. Yes, he's absolutely right. The builder I got my 289 from told me don't use Motley assembly lube with the roller on the lifters, can make the roller skate instead of rolling, causing small flat spots. Yes, absolutely. You don't want to lubricate A roller cam was anything but engine oil. Just the engine oil it's going to use. No gear lube, no assembly
no
lube,
pre-lube, no nothing.
nothing. Just the oil that's going to be in the engine. Let them soak, right? I don't normally recommend soaking, like flat toppers. I say never soak them. Put them in, just wet them, right? Use assembly lube and put them in. But a roller, you soak them in oil just long enough to make sure that the rollers,
The bearings and
the
rollers.
bearings get lubricated, and then drop them in the motor.
We need to do a Gen 3 Hemi build.
I don't really want to, but I
Okay.
will. You want to do one? What do you want to do? Let's
I tried to get one from, who, but I never.
Morale?
Yeah, I never.
You should have a bunch of them.
I asked him. I said, "Sell me one," and I got nothing.
What do you want to put it in?
TBA.
Okay.
I want to. Yeah, I kind of know, but I'll keep it to myself. And
Okay.
and even at the pre-Eagle, the 03 to 08 would be fine with me too. I don't care about the little bit of performance you get out of it for the money, but they're just expensive to build. They're not a.
I know it's not.
Yeah, it's not a cheap date, but
then,
but you have the cool factor.
but what do you like build, right? So you wouldn't be building an NA thing where you're actually going to like soup it up.
No, but it would
right?
be think something with some kind of fenderless, hoodless hot rod
Okay.
type thing.
Okay. Oh, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
You've got to off. You know what? You really got to put an early Hemi. There's one.
It's just the same amount of money. It's probably more money to build one of them.
Dude, there's no. There's a Dodge, a Red Ram Dodge in Shelbyville for $250, complete motor.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they're out there.
Mhm.
They're out there, and they can be had cheap. And there's lots of workarounds almost to keep them cheap. Let's see.
The real 15-inch DLP. No, we're not going to do a sniper on a Hemi. No. No.
Drew's car care. I heard STP would sit at the bottom of the pan and not circulate. I don't know, but I've never heard that. Let's see. Mark Sauvé, do you know what STP stands for? Stay together, please. I like that. Raymond Cabal, do you guys think I could engineer a 1986 Crown Vic back to its 1979 standards? Well, you're talking about with a 4.6?
Yeah, what's
Yeah, it depends on the engine. You'd have to do an engine transplant.
or get an early Crown Vic if they still have the weak 5 liters in them.
Yeah, well, he's talking about a 96, right?
Yeah.
By that point, they're
Yeah, 96 are all 4.6s. Yeah.
yeah. You have to do a motor swap. There's nothing you can do with that particular engine as far as like retroing it. I'll tell you what, man, the 351, you find a go to the junkyard, find an exploder with a 351, plop that in there with the factory wiring, and perfect car for
Go
it.
to town. Yeah.
Luis Calderon, do you prefer pilot bearings or bushings, or does it even matter? I recently replaced the T56 and the bushing was completely wallowed out. Yeah, for that reason, a bearing is better than a bushing. Yeah, when I can, I use it. When I can, I use a bearing. The 4.6 won't go back in time. It was new in 96.
Yeah.
Mike's Out Fishing, do you think Dodge would have survived this long if they never took over AMC? Not a prayer.
No, because they got the Jeep, and the Jeep's been carrying them like a
Yep.
like a pack mule
Yep.
through all this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for all intents and purposes, I don't think of newer Mopars, newer Chrysler products as anything but Jeeps at this point. Dodge Ram 1, how do you pre-fill the oil filter on a 71 slant 6? So what you do is you pour the oil in, okay, and you let it sit, right? You're not gonna don't try to do a full fill, okay? But pour about half a quart in and let it sit. And what will happen is it'll gravitate to the outside. It'll go to the outside of the filter where the filtering actually takes place. And then screw it on quickly. You'll lose a couple of drops, but the vast majority of the oil but yeah, half a quart in there and then let it sit for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and then screw it on quickly and you're good. Upside down. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's upside down. And Fubar put a link to my merch. Thank you, Fubar. Our shirts, our hats, our stuff. I don't know. We got mugs. We got mugs.
You got mugs and stickers.
Look at this. We have that. You need that. If you work on cars, you need that. It's in our store. I need this. It's in our store. What's it cost? It doesn't matter. That's how badly you need it.
Right. Just get it.
Yes.
You're not going to notice the difference in your credit card bill anyway.
No.
You never pay those off. Just keep it lit. Yeah, keep it lit. Keep it hot.
Justin Billington, what made the early Hemi so strong? Looking at the layout, they shouldn't be. 4-bolt per cylinder, 2-bolt mains, no skirt, heavy. Yes, you're right. Their main strength is from their beef. They're just high quality cast iron, like a higher nickel content, very high quality cast iron, and lots of it. And a lot of the block strength, see, people never talk about this, okay? But a lot of the block strength, let's say on the Chryslers, right? It helped them live on nitro. A lot of the block strength comes from the valley. So if you look at a typical V8, okay, take the intake manifold off, and it's wide open. You got the cylinder heads, and you got the straight down into the valley. Okay, on an early Hemi, all of them, but I'm talking about specifically about the Chrysler, which are the ones that are known for strength. It's got a closed-in valley, so the intake manifold does not seal the top of the valley. It has a valley cover, and it has a thick ridge or a lip that runs all the way around that the valley cover bolts to. Well, that adds tremendously to the torsional rigidity of the block. So there's a lot of reasons. It was just an extremely well designed engine. Let's see. Mostly all parts. Oh, Ron Ward is in. Just in time for us to let's get out of here because Ron Ward has come. Right? Not that it's almost 2 hours. Let's just run away from Ron Ward.
Run away.
Yes.
Or he'll be up in the booth announcing our demise.
Right. Those bastards. All right. So listen, guys. I think it has come to an end. Right?
It is.
Yeah, yes. We're done. Okay, just done. Our mods.
The super mods. Fubar. Mexican spec.
Wait, no, stop. Start over again. I have to stand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You better now?
Yes.
Okay. Fubar. Mexican spec. And zero. That's right.
All right.
All that coughed up their hard-earned pennies for super chats. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Never asked for, but always appreciated.
Yes, and everybody who's contributed just as your presence and your conversation, thank you so much. TK's Garage was in here for a while. Go over there, sub to his channel. All about late models, Stellantis, like it's soap opera. It's awesome.
And you'll love it. It's hilarious.
Yeah. And what else was there?
What else?
You want to talk about anything?
Yeah, just go to the thing and buy some shirts.
Yes.
Shirts, they're on sale.
Buy merch.
They're on sale
there.
For a purpose. Buy them.
Yeah.
And then you could be cool like all the cool kids.
Yes, the coolest kids. All right, guys. So that's it. I'm going to hit this out button and stream right there. Okay, that's
And-
step one.
And
And
adios.
this is it.
Yeah, we're
You
getting
should-
our aluminum hats and we're getting
You
out of
sure
here.
you have nothing else to say? Because I'm going to hit that button, bro, and then that's it.
No, get them out of here.
Done.